Recently, the New Yorker made an article titled How the Pentagon Started Taking UFOs Seriously. It's a very good article. In the article, George Adamski is mentioned, and it says George Adamski claimed to have rendezvoused with a race of kindly Nordic-looking Venusians who were disturbed by the domestic and interplanetary effects of nuclear bomb tests. They're actually not from Venus or Venusians. That was memory manipulation against Adamski by enemy groups known as the Amigans. This is mentioned on Brother Bob's excellent TerraCore Alliance Terran Communication Center site under the spurious contacts info, and it states that the local planet references to local planets such as Venus and Saturn are spurious. As our science has clearly demonstrated, none of the planets have indignant life and are utterly hostile to life in any recognizable form. It was a result to be partly or wholly the result of the Amigan disinformation program. They have technology to manipulate people's memory. This was also stated in Mass Contacts by Brescia. They did the same tactics to the Confederation contactors. This is changing memories, altering documents, wiping out someone's memories, injecting wrong feelings, things like that. The way to counter that is to use Sermon on the Mount. The more they harass you and the more you follow Sermon on the Mount, the more it guarantees you make it into Confederation worlds with the memory intact. And if you forgive them, your sins are forgiven. So you can use them to your benefit, and you can impress the Confederation. Then you can pray for what you want, and they're be more likely to have your prayers answered by the Confederation helping out, and God will be more impressed. As Jesus says in Sermon on the Mount, the more you are persecuted, be happy, because the more you're guaranteed to make it into heaven. The more you forgive others, the more you're forgiven, so you could use them. The more they harass you, the more you can use them by forgiving them and knowing that you'll make it. They also discredit themselves. CTRs, which is a name for the Confederation used for all the evil groups here, including the Megans. Their program is parasitic. So it's like they're like parasites trying to control the host. But if the host knows that they're trying to be manipulated, you can use that and not be manipulated, because every time they harass you, you can use them by forgiving them, and then you're guaranteed to make it into Confederation worlds and memory intact. And each time they do it, the more they discredit themselves, because that's the type of way they live and act is a result of rejecting morals and service. As a result, they ended up living like parasites. So the more they do it, the more they discredit themselves. But at the same time, you can use them to make it to Confederation worlds. Anyone can contact the Confederation. All you need to do is have a sincere service towards God and share the teachings of God with others and see the Confederation as friends. And then they will do something like a coincidence or orchestrated coincidence, and then they'll so you'll know it's them, and they'll send undercover operatives to help out in small ways, or they'll influence your subconscious from a distance with their technology, or they'll do both. And their operatives radiate very strong positive energy. The Alliance brothers only contact Brother Bob and no one else. But the Confederation is open to contacting anyone who's sincere and seeing them as friends and teaching the laws of God to others. In my opinion, I think both the Confederation and Alliance on Earth is a good system because Earth people can follow God's laws like Sermon on the Mount, and then the Confederation makes sure give meaning to God's laws, because God's laws would be hard to follow because the CTRs always try to interfere. Like, they try to prevent me from following Sermon on the Mount, but thanks to the Confederation, they help out. So the Confederation has a very important in making sure God's laws can be followed. And the more people follow God's laws and are able to do so with support from the Confederation against the CTR groups that try to prevent it, the more moral society becomes, and the job is a little bit easier for the Alliance brothers to remove the evil groups. So it's mutually beneficial for each group. The more the people follow the laws of God, the more the Confederation helps people to follow the laws of God, which is very important, and the more moral society is, and the more a little bit easier it is for the Alliance brothers to remove the evil. So it's like a mutually beneficial triple system, I call it. And I pray, as in here, that there should be reconciliation between the Confederation and the Alliance on Earth, because they have slightly different views. But I pray that there's reconciliation because they're mutually beneficial. And the more one side is successful, it indirectly affects both the Earth people and the other side. And so I think that's a good system. Okay, thank you and have a good day.